Hello, I'm Robin Vincent and welcome to Multi-Music Technology. Today we're looking at the Moog Werkstatt, the Werkstatt-01, the Werkstatt-01 reissue, along with the now included CV Expander. What's the Werkstatt? Well, it's a strangely named little synthesizer from Moog, packed full of analog Moogy goodness, and was originally released in 2014. It came along as part of the Moog Fest VIP Engineers Workshop thingy that they do. It's a thing where you can pay a load of money to go and build a synthesizer along with the Moog engineers. It's an awesome thing. And in 2014, this is what they gave them to build. And everybody loved it so much, they said, well, why don't you release it as a product commercially? And Moog went, oh, all right then. So they did. Now, this was before the Mother 32. And so Moog had never released something as small, compact, juicy and affordable as this ever before. Now, you can see exactly where the Mother 32 comes from because it's all over this. It's all over this. But this was designed much more to be kind of an experimental playground in terms of the electronics. It's not a completely finished product in the same way that the Mother 32 is. It's more designed to be quirky, to be fun, to be instant, to be something that you can build and put together and start learning about and enjoying synthesis with. Now, there's a bit of a change that happened from the workshop version of this to the version that was actually released. In the workshop, they had to solder the thing together. 200 odd components, proper soldering, learning about electronics, putting the whole thing together, that kind of thing. When it came to releasing the commercial product, they went, sod all that. That sounds like far too much technical support. So they've kind of built the thing for you. So as far as build your own synth goes, it's really just put a board in a case and screw it in kind of DIY. So it's DIY for anybody. Anybody could do this and say that I built a Moog synthesizer. But we'll look at all that in a minute. I haven't really looked at it. I've just received the box. They're reissuing it because, I don't know, they probably found a bunch of old boards somewhere that they need to move along. But what they've done is they've put it together with the CV Expander. Now, CV Expander fits over this patch bay. Patch bay, you see, Mother 32, there's reflections of the Mother 32 all the way along because it had this little patch bay that was connected with patch wires, like what you find on the Bastille Castle or the Vulcan modular. And that's super for sorting out yourself, but it's not so great in connecting to a larger world of modular. So they release a CV Expander, which converts that, plugs onto it, and gives you all the CV ins and outs, which makes it much more interesting. That's what we've got in the box. So the reissue is putting that together in the box, one price, build your own synthesizer, and off you go. Now, I've never built one before, never had one before, never played with one before. So this is going to be all of that. Opening it up, putting it together, making some noise. Let's see what we can do. Right. This is the front panel. And it I like that. I like the way it then removes the top for you to let you get into all the garbage inside. So it's made of proper metal and stuff. They weren't messing about when they put this together. And this here is the bottom half of the case. In the little bag. So this is the expander. Sits over the top, as we'll see in a minute, of the little patch wire patch bay and gives you all of this proper stuff. So I'm going to be able to work it into my machine over there. That's pretty exciting. Nice. Smiley faces are appreciated. Something that's appreciated in this day and age. There's a serious anti-static bag. And there we go. See, it's all on here already. It's all on. Yeah, so we don't get to build a whole lot, but what's important, I think, perhaps, is that we have this. We have our fingers on the electronics inside a Moog synthesizer. And there is actually a load of stuff in here. There's all these experimenter pads where you could hook things up to, solder things to, add things to. In fact, there's an entire community out there that builds mods precisely for this machine, precisely because it is so accessible and available for circuit bending. So if you wanted to get down and dirty into electronics, you most certainly can. But that's not what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to put it together, make a noise. Oh, look, we get a serial number sticker. Serial number 508. Some feet, some kind of screw, some bits and pieces, and of course these patch wires. Right. Oh look, we also get some proper Moog Eurorack cables. That's nice. Some kind of weird European plug. And the hope is in here will be a UK plug. Oh, there we go. There we go. Found it. Found it. That's a relief. We also get this, which is kind of nice. Oh, it's a poster. Well, that's a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. Oh, it's double-sided, so I'm going to have to put it up on some glass. Oh, that's really nice. I like that. I like that a lot. That is going up. That is definitely going up somewhere. Nice registration card. Thank you. You see, I like that. I really like a thank you in a product as opposed to a congratulations. It's just a thing. It's just me. Everybody else likes congratulations, I'm sure. But, you know, there's something narky about being congratulated for buying a product as opposed to being thanked for buying a product. It's a small point, very small point, but Moog get it right. Oh, some good assembly instructions. That's what we need. Oh, look. Patching. Sinister base. We are doing that. That's for sure. Great. Well, let's get this box out of the way and get the thing built. Okay. Assembly instructions. Let's have a look. Attaching the feet. So we start off with the case bit. This bit here. And it wants us to attach the feet. Now I would normally do DIY projects over there in my DIY bay with my anti-static stuff, soldering iron, but none of that's actually required. So I figured I'll just do it over here to save me having to tidy up over that side of the room. So these feet just squidge in, do they? I think so. Yeah, they probably do. I can't make it work. Or maybe you... See, this is why you need a Moog engineer knocking around to show you how to get the feet in. Pushing and gently twisting, it says. Okay, pushing and twisting. That sounds troublesome. Alright, okay, good. There we go, lovely. There, nice, yeah. Feet, good feet. Trimming the nylon washer. The black nylon washer is used to isolate the audio jack from the inside of the bottom chassis. In order to slide the washer onto the audio jack, you will need to cut. I'll need to cut something from it. Now this I think is as deep as it gets. I'm going to go and find a tool, something like a pair of snippers. I've got to cut out a 1/16 of an inch section. So what I do, just cut. What, like that? What's a 1/16 of an inch look like? I don't know. I'm going to go with that. That looks about right. Okay, good. Right. Installing the electronics. So we've got the circuit board. Carefully remove the circuit board from the protective sleeve. Take the washer you prepared in the previous step and slide it onto the audio output. Wouldn't it have just gone on? Anyway, so I did that, right? Lining up the missing section with the metal tab on the jack. What? Right, I'm not entirely sure what they mean by that, but maybe it will become obvious in time. Metal tab on the jack. There's no metal tab on the jack. Who knows? Anyway, just going to put that on there. Next, place the printed circuit board into the chassis. Slide the audio jack through the hole. Be sure that the 5 mounted holes line up with the standoffs and use the screws to attach it. So this then goes in there, like that, through the hole. And that lines up. Beautiful. Grab a screwdriver and loosely put it in. Make sure everything is lined up. It appears to be. And then tighten the screws. Yeah. Now, just as a point of order, just be careful between these 2 screws, because I put the wrong one in, and that doesn't really quite, it sort of fits and then it won't screw all the way down. So make sure you don't mess it up by putting the wrong screw in. And then put on the hex nut onto the audio output. Now at this point they want you to test it. So we have to plug in the power supply, and only this power supply. There. And as you can see, hopefully, there's a nicely flashing LED light on the LFO showing us how fast that's going. Now I need to unplug the power supply. There's no power switch, I have to say. It's just plugging in and it's on. So next, we place the 13 button caps onto the keyboard buttons. Oh, that's what these are. Right. These tiny weeny things here, they go over the top of the buttons. Okay. Okay, adding the top panel. Place it so that all the knobs, switches and keyboard buttons pass through. Nice. Secure it using the black sheet metal screws. These fellas here, I should think. Now I'm going to be slightly sneaky, and I'm not going to put these screws in because I'm pretty, like, 100% sure that this here expander goes on the side over the top. So I'm not going to screw that in for the minute, but I'm also not going to put this in quite yet. I'm just going to finish off what it says to make sure that we've got to where we need to be. And then we'll get on to the CV Expander. So on the back it suggests we put the label somewhere in the middle, somewhere relatively straight. Just going to have to go for it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Just go like wallop. Lovely. And that is that. That is your Sunday afternoon synth in a box, building a synthesizer DIY experience. That is it. That's your lot, mate. That's everything. Brilliant. So let's have a quick look at the expander and how they suggest that goes on. So remove the 2 screws, everything we would have done. Plug the header onto the board. 2 silver screws. Take care not to over tighten. Now, of course, you can play with this as it is, with all of these bits and pieces going in. In fact, you get more possibilities with the patch wire bay because there are physically more of them. With this, you get 3, 6, 9, you get 12, whereas here I think you've got 20. Now, they are duplicates, so there's only a certain amount. I think there's 13 which are actually individual, and then the rest are duplicates, which is useful in of itself. But then you've still got to work out how I can patch this to something else using these tiny little wires. So there's plenty out there on the internet to tell you how to use this patch bay in a patch wire styly so that all of that works perfectly. I'm going to skip straight to this bit because this is what interests me, connecting this to my larger rig. So for this, I can pull these 2 little bits off which have been protecting the pins. This needs to sit into the patch bay and just pushes in. Ooh. And then the silver screws screw in over the top. Nice. So there is our expanded version. It's not a beautiful thing, I have to say. I mean, as far as Moog goes, most of their stuff is pretty gorgeous. This not so much. This definitely gives off a vibe of, you know, engineering sample, prototype, that kind of thing, and that's exactly where this came from. So I'm not disappointed that it doesn't look gorgeous. It's to be expected. But, you know, obviously it's a bit of an odd fish. It is an odd one. Let's see if it makes any sound, eh? Right, let's give it a go. Right, okay, so that was just messing about with it spontaneously, as it were. So let me do the Sinister Bass preset. Yeah, give that a go. So let's just step through it. Frequency somewhere over there, pulse wave, pulse width in the middle, cut off over there, resonance over there, envelope down there. This one LFO, amount fairly high, pulse width, EG, amount over there, positive. LFO rate low, triangle, sustain off, attack, decay. Cool, glide all the way down over there, and then there's just a couple of patches to make. One goes from the envelope out to CV in, and the other one goes from frequency modulation in on the LFO, envelope out. Does anybody know what any of that stuff means? Good, stick it in the comments. So let's see what that sounds like. Right, let's try to get in via the CV Expander to control it from a keyboard. Now, this purple cable is my pitch output, and that's going to go into the VCO exponential FM input. And let's put this into drone mode. Now that's as near as damn it. That's as near as damn it in tune. Now there is a trimmer inside on the board where you can adjust it a little bit in order to try to tune it better. But that sounds tuneful enough to me, I think. But of course that's using it on drone mode. What we want to do is plug in a gate as well, a gate to open and trigger the envelope. Now this should go into the gate in. Now on the original one there wasn't a gate in, there was a gate out. And so, but apparently it was kind of a bi-directional thing. If you fed it enough voltage it would go the other way and trigger it as a gate. Now with this reissued version they actually have a labelled gate in. Now I'm not entirely sure whether that's because they've sort of fixed the fudge or whether they've just relabeled it, but as far as I can tell it works, so that's all I really care about. And now what I can do is take the modulation output from here, plug that in to control, say, the filter. I'm not trying to do anything particularly innovative. That's an interesting point, in that the glide only actually affects what's being played on the keyboard. So the Werkstatt then, strangely named Moog little synthesizer, is not refined as something like the DFAM or the Mother 32, but it is a hell of a lot of fun. It is instantly usable. It does everything it's supposed to and surprises you really quickly because you go, oh, I didn't realize I had that switch. Oh, and then that's nice. Of course, you can disregard this if you like and carry on using the wires if you so wish. Oh, it's just lovely. It's just got that sound going on. That Moog sound, that filter is enormously rewarding to play with. The knobs as well are perfect for those thonk knobs that you can get that go over the small knobs. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and check out thonk.co.uk, because those are pretty awesome. But it's still very grabbable, very switchable, but it's very simple, very straightforward. You're not going to get lost. You know what's going on most of the time. And this thing here just gives you access to other bits and pieces going out and coming back in again. What a great thing. There's not going to be around forever, apparently. It's very limited supply, but it's 200 quid, 199, available mid-November. Pretty good. It's not a build your own synth. it's put a board in a box and do it up type synth. But once you've got it together, which takes you 5 minutes, it's brilliant. It's a lovely thing. What's not to like about that? Obviously I've added a little bit of delay and reverb to this because it's just really nice. That's an unbeatable sound, that's flipping awesome. So there you go, Moog Werkstatt, synth in a box. You know, it's a kit, no not really, but there it is. Hope that was helpful, and in the meantime, go make some tunes.